I was downstairs in our computer room trying to do a paper, and it started to get late, and I wouldn't be able to finish it. And at the same time, my father was away, and we heard that something was wrong with him, and my mother had to go to the Philippines to be with him. And I was kind of left alone in the house trying to finish a paper with all this news about my family. And with all the pressure, I started to cry. And it was an uncontrollable cry. And I noticed that I couldn't stop. And it probably lasted for like an hour or 2 hours, and I felt like that was my first kind of breakdown. I felt like something was wrong with me, and I would, it would start out with something small, and then it would kind of escalate, thinking that I was probably the worst person in the world, and that I wasn't good enough. While I was going through it, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't think I had a mental disorder, and I didn't think that I had something that could have been depression, or that could have been, another mental illness. I just knew that I didn't like being in the body that I was in. I remember one time I was at a dinner party, and I just started kind of losing myself in the mix. There was a lot of talking, and the more and more I thought that I just wanted to go away. And before I knew it, the conversation was so distant from me. And then my friend, she told me, we've helped you. We tried to help you as much as we could. And she said, well, you really need to check yourself into a hospital. And so I did some research, and I looked at a couple of different options, and I contacted a hospital, and I was admitted into their partial hospitalization program. And that's where they told me about borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder is an intense amount of emotions packed inside of yourself. And it's so difficult to control it. You use all your energy to either release these emotions or make them go away. That what ends up happening is you do other things that might not be the best and most healthy things. So the hospital helped get me into a treatment called dialectical behavior therapy. And so I began to do that treatment, which consists of a private session with your therapist, as well as a group therapy session. And what it consists of is a portion that helps you with your skills, learning how to cope with high emotions, how to tolerate those high emotions. I still struggle with trying to figure out who I am. I think I feel so empty inside often that whatever people bounce back, or whatever they reflect, or however they react to whatever I'm doing, I feel that is who I am. Because I can't tell for myself, where's my core. And I think that probably has a lot to do with why I'm constantly trying to find something meaningful in my life. Because if I can do something meaningful in my life, then that means that there's something about me, there's a sense of me, there's a reality to who I am. I find meaning in helping other people, in telling my story. Because I notice a lot of times when I tell my story, other people will be open and tell their story. There's so many times I bring up that I have BPD, and someone will say, "Oh, I'd love to hear more about it because my brother has schizophrenia," or my mother had borderline personality disorder. And I didn't know that there were other people out there going through the same thing.